Yeah, my tribe of opera mind, so what's happening? Government and all y'all cross the line, so what's happening? My ancestors wouldn't like you cross the line, so what's happening? We original, y'all GMO, y'all lying. I do this for my Nietzsche.
You know what it is, man? It's the Time of the Party podcast and make sure like no other. Welcome. Tap in.
I do this for my Nietzsche. Should've left me where I was, cause I ain't never stirred. Took that little ice off my neck.
Go ahead and hit that like button real quick. Subscribe, share. You know what it is, man.
Girl said, real American.
We out here. Let's go.
Thoroughbred. I'm like, let my people go and just take me instead. When it's red or blue pill, I'm only choosing red. I'ma always choose my people.
Shout out to my Nietzsche's out there, my Aborigines. You know what it is, man.
Jim Crow is showing me I don't want no.
It's tongue-tied sometimes.
Over me. I don't want no politicians ruling over me. I don't want no po ruling over me. Only somebody just like me gonna treat me like me. I'm Iron Cherokee, the Chief and Dr. Gia Lee. I'm still a G like DST. You might not be as G as me. You think you free, but you need remedy to be as free as me.
That part.
Yeah.
That exact part right there. I'll tell you. Tap in, let's go.
Enemy of my tribe of opera mind, so what's happening? Government and all y'all cross the line, so what's happening? My ancestors wouldn't like you cross the line, so what's happening? We original, y'all GMO, y'all lying. I do this for my Nietzsche. Oh yeah, my Nietzsche. I do this for my Nietzsche. I do this for my Nietzsche. Should've left me where I was, cause I ain't never stirred. Took that little ice off my neck for this Earl head. My nation, my Nietzsche, someone thorough said. Real Americans, still pure blood, we thoroughbred. I'm like, let my people go and just take me instead. When it's red or blue pill, I'm only choosing red. I'ma always choose my people, you can keep that bread. Our government owe $1 trillion, you can keep that bread. It's one thing Jim Crow is showing me. I don't want no white folks ruling over me. I don't want no politicians ruling over me. I don't want no po ruling over me. Only somebody just like me gonna treat me like me. I'm Iron Cherokee, the Chief and Dr. Gia Lee. I'm still a G like DST. You might not be as G as me. You think you free, but you need remedy to be as free as me. I'm from the hood, I'm still waking up my people. They got us good, they still hating on my people. When it comes to fashion, the whole world wanna be like us. When it comes to music, the whole world wanna be like us. When it comes to dancing, the whole world wanna be like us. Foreigners are doing everything, trying to weaken us. Sports, y'all can't fuck with us. Rhythm, know we killing y'all. Anything involve a ball. Mentally, we figured out the cosmos. After all, inventing shit, we smashing y'all. It's time to take through asking y'all. Rights by blood after all. Vatican and the Smithsonian got all our shit. Artifacts and relics still keeping us away from them. When they say that was a long time ago, that's racist shit. Y'all holding and keep stolen shit. We don't need y'all holding it. Reverse engineering our technology, controlling it. David, everything you got, but you can't put no soul in it. I ain't go see the new Matrix cause I'm living it. Everything is not what it seems, but I'm killing it. Can you afford to pay attention who you living with? Now they trying to mandatory vax, but is you getting it? Fall back off my Nietzsche, I'm peeping y'all tactics. This ain't no earth war, this is galactics. Goddesses and gods warming up like practice. We gon'
high beams, wrist gleam coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you can do is witness.
Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze, let's go.
DJ Super Blaze is in the mix.
Everything is authentic. High beams, wrist gleam coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you could do is witness. High beams coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you can do is witness.
Black drop back, my stacks is on greatness. High level shit off top, you can't make this. Fuck the beat off guard, now that's rapist. Top laid back, the beans, now that's weightless. Gotta excuse me, y'all, I might break this. Ain't a perfect picture, y'all boys gon' need facelifts. Fall back a few, they fiend for thy greatness. Better cut before you take this. Cashmere playing golf with my 9-9. Can't fall off, they know that I buy mine. Fuck you with an OG and the fine lines. White in the mirror on the all-time high. Shining since I came out the pussy, I blind guys. Eating with my team, you cannot define eyes. Squares out of circle, boy, I divide pies. Truth so big, cannot deny lies, huh?
High beams, wrist gleam coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you could do is witness. High beams coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, yeah, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you can do is witness. Overseas singing melodies while I'm lofty. Smoking these 5 trees, you know I'm comfy. Bitch so exotic, that pussy, you know I'm lost in. Asset, and location, you know I'm bossing. No Marriott, yacht master of my submariner. My work stays back with no man, I'm still cleaner. Talk like you got an army, but you ain't got no team. I just landed, nigga, smell like the Gulf Stream. You don't understand this, you better read a book. Look up Rap Genius, you better read my hook. I'm on another level, my shit be hard to reach. I can change religions, but they make it hard to preach. Thought you had friends, but you learned your lesson though. Pat these niggas down before you let them through the door. The gang fucked up, I put it in the grapple. Painting pictures, nigga, Sistine Chapel. High beams, wrist gleam coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you could do is witness. High beams coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, we don't fuck with gimmicks. You can't rush the greatness, all you can do is witness.
Check the humidor, I gotta keep a few or more. I'm from the gutter, man, I took them on a sewer tour. See, when you make it to the top, that's what you do it for. Sunroof visions, can't tell you when I see the floor. Hearing screams as I open the arena doors. Higher level, what they think when they see my decor. I do it big and now they swear that they see me before. Everything is luxury, got your memory sore. I do this shit for real, the bitches love my sex appeal. I'm turning heads and tearing sheets like they were orange peels. Even my chicken boy can fill a storage with her heels. See, I kill the game alone, y'all be adorning deals. Wet bait, foreign cost, that's a bulk act. Feeling like I'm hidden by the roof, so I lost that. If you're getting real money, you can toast that. Shorting hard up in the building, nigga, you can float that.
High beams, wrist gleam coming down your block. Painting pictures with these words, call me Basquiat. Everything authentic, everything is classic. Gimmicks, you can't rush the greats, all you can do is witness.
Cause ain't nothing new under the sun. That means it's been done before. But not like this though.
Yeah, the guy flows giving with such precision. Flow like a Maybach, that's what keep me driven. Roof partition, scribing to the cosmo, omnipotent vision. I'm everywhere, tell me what I'm really missing. Traveling man, jumping past 5th dimension. P now, too wide open to see religion. Resonating way too loud for me to listen. Is you listening? Merc Kush jumping out the gym like Blake Griffin. Have your mind somewhere in the ethers missing. I cook food for thought and they proceed to listen. Cause my flow's nourishment and my words are living. See my tongue way stronger than that gun you gripping. Cause a big bang like the birth of earth was given. I get missing through the instruments and melody. I don't make music, I compose sound therapy. I think I'm Nick Tesla, Bob Marley, master of ceremony, nigga, I'm God body. Cracking up a bottle open and I'm calling Baron. Osiris Green, Mozart beads, got them knocks staring. I think I'm Jeff Fort, Noah Drew. Painting pictures with these words, man, it's what I do. Shouts out the Thriller campaign, nigga, what it do? Keeping everything kosher, no Jew. How I ride on the day that Noah would die. I'm a rule back, we supposed to ride. How I ride on the day that Malcolm died. By any means, I'm living my life. Hey, since an adolescent, been getting it right. Cause the people who were pressing ain't caring for life. Had to make my own way from nickel and dime. Till a nigga graduated and got me a pine. Where I'm from, man, them boys ain't playing around. Hopping out ski masks, they laying it down. Just because you match your description. Even though we all know it's fiction. All they really want to do is convict them. Forge his name or make up a victim. When it's feeling like the world is against them. It's all good, nigga, galaxies with them. It's all good, a galaxy with them. It's all good, nigga, my yacht with them. Hey. Shouts out to my ancestors. Oh, wow. Thriller campaign. The real is. Live life always. Y'all know. My folks so serious.
Feeling like I'm sorry. I don't need no driver's license. Just the beauty like a license. That the ride or die is still the show. You know they try to drown me in Admiralty, but I'm alive, they can't bury me. Now I'm wealthy and scholarly. Walk on the sea like I'm JC. Now I'm doing bigger, better. I'm changing atmospheres, levitating. The meditation clears the mind, keep it so clear. Don't you let them use you, keep your weapon near. Celebration is the only way out here. We gotta be tired of dying and burying people out here. I know it's hard cause they shoot first. They pull up, yeah, they click clack, they do dirt. They go home, then they'll get back. But they can't bother me, nah. Cause I'm not property. This is essential. Yeah, this is the mission, yeah. To be free and clear, living off the land, feel like a trillionaire. This the mission, I ain't gotta care. Living on my dream and killing all the nightmares, yeah.
So we gon' die every day. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. We been here, lived here, open borders, got deported, fought for rights. Kidnapped, bitch slapped, blacked out, covered up, washed white. Drugged up, slugged up, beat bread, left for dead, fuck your life. It's all a plan, kill your man, take your land, slave your kids, rape your wife. Why y'all look so mad if all this shit I say is true? Why y'all look so mad if all this shit happened to you? White man quick to tell you was a slave, nothing before. He himself only been free since 1840. Gon' record it. I'm an ancient Egyptian from Atlantis, headed straight for Canada, that's Israel. Nothing fake about me, no capping rapping. Y'all just feel the ink and I'm digital. No caveman, I'm original. Kentucky fried, extra crispy. Wear a lot of gold cause my family history. I'm the guy to know I bring death to history. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Power, only respect power. Respect power. What's been said can't be said no louder. Stand for something, or you die a coward. They bombed our churches, set our kids on fire. Police keep erasing cause they backed up by the nation. Nation ain't complaining cause the Indians still hanging. Comanche, Sioux, Apache, ain't no history in blackness. No reason for that chatting if you bitch up when it's action. AR on my body, tell the bro to grab the shot. Ain't loading up that new edition, finna hit him with this bobby. I can't shoot the shit, but 30 shouldn't miss. 54 races, 104 is click. Anytime in prison, they don't want the shit. They don't want the problems. Snitches get the stick. Talking all that hatred, end up running like a bitch. Call it loud, play the bitch. But we gon' die every day. They say Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came.
America, 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 America.
Blaze.
America, 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 America.
Let's do it.
America to Mary, yeah, America to Mary, yeah, America to Mary, yeah, America to Mary.
Come on.
America to Mary, yeah, America to Mary,
Up here.
America to Mary, yeah, America to Mary. Treating me like you cheating on me. I got an SSC and they leeching on me. They done went under the bleachers on me. All you wanna do is tax me. You ain't even really asked me. Ain't no full disclosure. Made me feel like it's over. We ain't break up, no closure. We ain't get no domestic. Is you foreign or domestic? Respect it or you can check it. I care about this country. I care about this country, but this country ain't got no love for me. It's treating me all money. On the boat is how they got here. Just look around, it's a lot here. They really put down the plot here, but they birthrights, it's not here. I'm from the soil, copper colored. I ain't black, no crude oil. Thinking about this two-door. America, 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 with you, Lord. America, America,
Play Black Gold now.
America, America,
Maroon.
America, with you, Lord.
I'm ready.
America to marry, America to marry, America to marry, America to marry, America to marry.
Matter of fact, just do Black Code. I know I'm gonna do this. Don't go away from the thing.
How you claim you a Democrat if it's two Republic for which you stand? I ain't voting for
Black Code.
We're gonna play the commercial. One nation under God. What God they talking about? What nation they talking about? Racism all they talking about. Aborigines need the funds here. All youth trying to have fun here. Inflation stay on the rise here. Everyone in disguise here. New laws a surprise here. Everyone get to hide here. That's right. Everyone get to hide here. Remember, it was just you and us before colonizing. We was doing us. No third parties. The two of us never seen them, but they knew of us. Destroyed our ruins, then ruined us. We was Indians, made us switch us up. Made us switch us up. Made us switch us up. Made us switch it up. We ain't giving up. America, 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 with you, Lord. America, 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 America to marry, 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 America to marry. I still believe it.
Let go. Let go. We almost there. I'm almost ready to take off. You heard? Meet me in the land. Let's go.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang.
Let's talk.
Yeah, you listening to Super Wave. Let's go.
Tap in. Let's go.
Rhyme so dope, my eyes low. When you move like God, the time slow. I came back for the blacks and John Doe's. Crack open them land patents, let go of them townhomes. What's a native to a native? Eat $5 dough if he not melanated. Pale faces got you waiting on a savior. Sending prayers up, he texting back on vacation.
What do you say?
God's children. Give all your praise to Jesus, but how God feeling? He say put no one before him in divine image. It's you with God of Christians. I got a vision, but niggas ain't gotta listen, so they don't. We came from the soil, wasn't fucking with no boats. Bible took our spirit, English potted on our homes. Tribal families turn on us, don't act like y'all don't know. But fuck them and they grudges. We was something turned to nothing. And now we nothing's turned to something. Reincarnation of ancients, fresh up out the oven. It's a message to the black man.
Okay.
This the message to the black man.
Come on.
This the message to the black man.
Tap in.
This the message to the black man. Shooters on my roof, lawyers in the coop. We can never die.
Come on.
Bitch, we bulletproof.
Listen.
This the message to the black man. This the message to the black man. Say you wasn't slaves, you was prisoners of war. You stop wasting your time, these other bitches ain't important. You ain't meditating, you ain't mating with the sauce. Like what the fuck's a noodle if you ain't painted with the sauce? I find it hard to trust the pastor who rather side with the master who preaching we should submit while getting murdered and captured. About how we should wait on God, it's never our vernacular. They get paid and praised by the dollar long as they keeping us stagnant. And niggas think they woke, huh? Like you could change a whole world through a vote, huh? Like slave masters willing to let their slave go, huh? That slave master was probably your kinfolk, huh? History in reverse, a black king strategy. When blacks were your majesty, they always hide your pyramids but point to where the castles be. Aristocracies with your last name patent accurately. Yeah. And I ain't even tell half the shit.
He ain't tell half the shit.
Like, I ain't even tell a quarter of the shit.
He ain't tell 10% of this shit.
I'm just getting started.
It's a hot joint, though.
Y'all niggas rap about busting guns and all this weird shit. I'm trying to get my people back, nigga.
I feel you. Autonomously speaking, you heard tap in. Blaze. You already know the campaign mix 8 to 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? Mixcloud. You know what I'm saying? We cross over on YouTube, going into around 9 o'clock is how we got programming going. You heard me? We're gonna play the Black Code joint because I don't want you to forget, as he just played the song, he only can cover so much in the song. So shout out my man to Kumset. We're gonna play this Black Code joint, and we're gonna go into some shit. And I'm gonna go ahead and I want to make sure you get this though.
Did you know that the foundation of the Black Codes, also known as the Black Laws, were originally inspired by King Louis XIV's Code Noir, an edict issued against Black Jews in French colonies that went alongside with the Edict of Fontainebleau? The edict made official the policy of persecution that was already in force since the Dragon Age. For those who don't know, the Black Codes of 1865 restricted Black people's right to own property, conduct business, buy and lease land, and move freely through public spaces. These codes allowed free people of color to access the legal system, marry, own property, and contract employment. In the courts, however, marriage between different races was punishable for both whites and blacks by life imprisonment. Limits were also placed on former slaves' ability to own property outside of the cities, and therefore to move from the cities and engage in their own farming or land ownership became infinitely more difficult. For more interesting facts like this, please like, share, and subscribe.
Yep, you already know what it is. It's the Autonomous Party. It's your boy Mac 8. Shout out to the BSB, Baron P, Gotta Green, Super Blaze, Firebird. Shout out to all the social club members. Shout out to all the members in general with the Autonomous Party will be doing. That's the Lucio Macario. Shout out to the Black Seminole Project.com for last week. Dr. Dixon and I'm in Hadley. Mr. Hadley. I'm gonna call him Mr. Hadley, the producer. You know what I'm saying? Because Zarian has been doing his thing. He move around. I'm gonna tell him, Mr. Hadley, hats off to you, sir. You know what I'm talking about, for doing what you do. Yeah, and tap in what they're doing. BlackSeminoleProject.com. Excuse me. Let me get these mics right. Make sure everybody on the side. You already know what it is locally, though. You know, we tapped in. Music Media Lounge. Shout out to my area, 954-561-305 in the swamp, 786, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Shout out to, again, all my indigenous, Black indigenous, because I just came out the room with them on fan basis and doing a fundraiser, and you should support that, by the way. What they got going on. Some people have said to me, though, you know, Mac, you ain't talk about certain things on the show last night. We heard you talk about, you know what I'm talking about. You know, in the manner of me understanding, even when you have so much, like how homeboy said, Trey Ali said on the song, I ain't even covering 10%, 25% what he put in a song. Sometimes even on our podcast with our guests, you don't want to interrupt the flow of how things going, and it's the bigger picture that needs to be pushed in today's time. Because you know I can go in detail about this information anytime. You know what I mean? If you know me from Clubhouse or even now on Fanbase, you know what I mean. I'm into the worldly things of understanding our what they call Black people history. Even though I know my genealogy too, and I'm tied to indigenous people of this land, First Nation people, prior to any European coming to the Americas. And that would include the Portuguese. But it so happens that I can't front certain things in my heritage is tied to them Portuguese that a lot of our folk, because of the 13th colony, you know, because they're the last ones. It's like they the victor, you know, they say the victor, the person to get to write it down. And when we get today in history, it's gonna be more tied to the more later day version, just like how, you know, we know things have changed in the even ancient day version of how people, you know, assimilated information and what translations they use. The Portuguese, though, being they the first ones I know as the European term will be applied to touch not only, you know what I'm saying, the Americas first, but they're the first ones that I would label European going into West Africa. I ain't say North Africa, I said West Africa. And shout out to the Malian Empire, the Songhai Empire, the Ghana Empire on that side of the pond. And what all they do, Timbuktu, all that good stuff. You heard me? But it's your boy Mac 8. And once again, MediaMealLounge.com. The harsh reality is live life autonomously. That's the campaign, thriller campaign. This is the autonomous party. Our guest tonight is Lee Cummings. I ain't gonna lie, for a minute, I thought he was gonna pull up some shit was going on. Chicago be so wild, I be wondering. Make me like, boy, I gotta pray if I put this man on the show. Marana. Nah, you know I'm playing with y'all. But yeah, he pulled up though. We gonna follow through. And before we pull him over, he pulls up on us. I wanna play obviously what we gonna get into, and I want to go into the joint. You know what I'm saying? Of some information. Can I get the Maroon J joint on? I ain't forget. Y'all thought I forgot. But we want to make sure we got y'all attention first before we play the joint. You hear me? And then I'm gonna go straight in on some stuff real quick before our guest pulls up. Blaze.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tribe to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Esther Lusty. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding broochies. Fire! Fire! Fire!
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, you listening to Super Blaze. Let's go.
Pardon my autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me. This ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces. How the fuck you bummy and broke but a pale racist? My lineage free people of color with a left make each nigga. This right here maroon, now it ain't burgundy. If you plotting murder, I'm certain that you'll need surgery. Hurt from when the burner squeeze. Protecting tribe business. Only consulting with governments, tribe to tribe with it. Please don't confuse us with those considered native. Semi-autonomy never was in our nature. Just address me as Esther Lusty. Wild Indian status and Cherokees riding broochies. In my war bonnet, if you want it, bring it to your region. And black forces the same color the European.
Tap in.
Autonomy. I know one day they'll honor me.
Tap
this
in.
ain't pertaining to 28 Deuteronomy. Self-determination, controlling our situation. Ain't no more indoctrination from pale faces.
Ain't no more indoctrination.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folks. Yeah. You never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
That part, pull me up. So I got to get through this before we get, Blaze. I got to get to this though, because I ain't gonna front from last week to even tonight. If you follow the party and the flyer, shout out to again my man Zarian Hadley, producer, and the man and Dr. Dixon, who came on the show last week, and what they're doing and how they're highlighting what we doing on this side of town. You know what I'm saying? The Autonomous Party Maroonville vibe on information that we're covering, and obviously particularly because I just happen to have a lineage connection to certain things, and I don't brag about it. We just gonna keep it loosely and keep it moving. I don't really, harp on. I've been, so much stuff we cover into these days and with the show and what the party's doing. Lucio Macario style that we ain't really, we just keep doing what we doing type shit, you know what I mean? And I still love though, because it's the man, shout out to Tri-Biz. I can't front. Tri-Biz, because Tri-Biz, not only they came on our show, but they also has put us on a documentary, you know what I'm saying, for me to highlight certain things we've been covering. and on the black indigenous people. You know what I'm saying? Aboriginal people, like Malcolm X said, you don't like to be called. You know what I'm saying? Aborigines. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason. But either way, though, before we bring our guest up, I gotta show something that someone tried to like get at me about this week. They were like, "Matt, you didn't bring up certain things." Well, I know that the doctor Dixon was said African. He mentioned a name, and I asked him to repeat that name last week. So you can go research tribally with you know, because it still was in the West African region. You know what I'm saying? And again, you know, we've been covering this information. Matter of fact, our guest tonight, Lee Cummings, the author of the Negro Question series, he did a joint with us with one of the popular podcasters, YouTubers, that covers a lot of this information. Shout out to Cootie Mayo. You know what I'm saying? And we did it. We was the Morano. We said Morano. Yeah. We go back and check the live joints. We got that on the record. And we did it back then for a reason. Some people ain't probably catch why we did it. You heard me? I understand if you know historically, because some people ain't following these different terms that different groups of people or the same groups of people might have been called in a certain time period tied to a certain situation. And it's kind of happened because of what happened last week when my buddy said to me, and I said, okay, you thought I was slipping. I'm not slipping. I'm not just going to go off on a tangent on the middle of a conversation with what we brought them on for. There's a time and place for certain things. But because tonight, and shout out to our guest who's been covering the Negro Question series, and obviously the term that people don't like to hear, the term Jew, you know what I'm saying? Yahudi, you know what I mean? Hebrew Israelite, those terms I've been seeing a lot of debates about, funny enough. God to bring, give me that first joint real quick. Because I'm going to go into the first European group that we know went into West Africa and came into the Americas real quick because it's tied to something. It's tied to a heritage of some indigenous people. They use the terms in rural areas such as Alabama, Florida. That's the Lucy, matter of fact. But as it's going to say here, and as you all should know, because I got to bring this up because of what happened last week before I bring our guest up, Portuguese Brazilians. So you see that word right there, right after it says Portuguese Brazilians. There's a term there. There's a word there to keep it simple. And I'm gonna go deeper real quick to let you know I profoundly go in past and its sources that's made me more adept into what I'm been looking for in my search of certain things tied to the heritage of my people. Now this term Luso, Luso. Remember, different languages, different variants, linguistically speaking. But the word Luso, Brazilios, in our time frame, Estalusti is tied to that word Luso. And that word Luso, it's funny that they're basically saying, like, and how we would look at it from a Muskogee standpoint, being that Estalusti is a Muskogee word, we would automatically correlate this term Luso as black. But we say Lusti or like Tuscaloosa. Those are all variants of the same word Luso. If you want to check behind me, go ahead. That's why I'm putting it there for you to go do your research, right? But out of the way, it's still tied to the Portuguese, like the word Negro is. Funny enough, out of the Europeans that went into West Africa, first group, as we would label Europeans, and the first group to come to the Americas in Brazil, because Brazil is the place that's also called Negro de Terra. And West Africa was the first place that Portuguese went, was also called Negro de Guinea. Just to let y'all know I know this. Now, it says whose ancestor originates wholly partly in Portugal. Luso is tied to the Portuguese, just like Negro is black, Negro, Luso. So there's dark-skinned Portuguese that obviously are going into what we would call West Africa early in the game, dealing with a trade system. I'm going to show you real quick, too. But I wanted to make sure you saw that Luso part. So anybody want to go look up Portuguese, Brazilians is there. We can go to the next joint because we're going to hold them on that. Just make sure there's little references so you can go do your search if you're into this information. You know what I mean? Because like I said, last week, I ain't going to interrupt man in the middle of his joint. Just like our guest tonight, before I bring him up. That's why I'm giving you this real quick. Shout out to the Black Seminole Project. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason why we involved the Autonomous Party, by the way. You know what I mean? Cambridge University Press. The evolution of the Portuguese identity. Do you see that word Luso again? Luso, and then Africans. And then it says on the Upper Guinea, Negro de Guinea. So you know they were dealing with Luso Africans tied to the Portuguese and people. They say Africans. See, we're being this obscure because really in this time frame that I know the Portuguese went into West Africa, which is before 1492. That is Songhai, Mali, and Ghana empires that's involved. You got to go to the book from Babylon to Timbuktu to kind of get that understanding of that correlation. You got a history. You don't got to go into the Bible to do this. You can go into or Torah or whatever historically. You know what I mean? Now during the late 15th century, it's the early 16th century, I skipped. Portugal established a trading presence along the Upper Guinea coast from Senegal to Sierra Leone before it was even called Sierra Leone. And it says immigrants from Portugal known as Lancandos. You know, that boy Tariq Nasheed recently, you know what I mean? We were getting there. Lasando. See, I always say Lacando. It just like I be like want to say I like to say Wakanda and some people say Wakantanka. You know what I mean? Wakantaka. I have my, you know, this is the way I say it. It's cool. But Lacando, Lasando, Luso. So it make more sense, right? Luso, Lasando, right? Luso, Lasando. Because that word Lacando or Lusando, Luso, people are tied to people that got exiled out of their area. And the word Lasando, and I say Lacando, right? Lasando is tied to those who've been kicked out. That's what the word really means. Like you've been exiled from your area, cast out. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about terms like, and it's another word that's tied to the Lacando or Lasando, Luso situation, Brazil and West Africa, that also ends up in the Americas, with a term that we've covered tied to Maroons, and also this Luso term. Some of the Jews seeking to escape, see right over there, some of the Jews seeking to escape religious persecution settled along the coast, where many of them married women from local communities. By the early 16th century, Luso Africans or Portuguese, as they called themselves. You see how I said that? It let you know that, yeah, you know, history, we can say Luso African, but the Luso African would have said, I'm a Portuguese. What do you mean? I've been in Portugal, goddamn it, before we got kicked out. Why is all of a sudden now I can't be Portuguese, right? Now I gotta be labeled an African, huh? I was Portuguese before, but now all of a sudden now I'm an African. But Luso, you know, it's letting you know that's a connection to the Portuguese, who are the European, who's going into that area, which is tied to some people that got kicked out. You know what I mean? That religiously might be called Yehudi. There ain't no J's at that time frame. Shout out to Lee Cummings who's coming up. He can let you know that if I ain't tripping. Because I ain't tripping. Descendants of Portuguese immigrants to Cape Verde Islanders and West Africans. See, that's that West African thing you're talking about. The Luso Africans developed a culture that was itself synthesized of African and European elements. So it's a mixture. There's your Creole with the K, not with the C. Give me the next joint. We're gonna keep it moving. I want to make sure they go. Because I ain't gonna, like I said, you got to guess. I want, because someone asked the question, I'm gonna do my best to give it to you. You heard it? And I'll make sure you get it. And you go research it yourself after the fact. And you know you can pull up on us. It's the party for anything that we got. When Africa met Europe. See, this is what people like. They lump that in, right? When Africa met Europe. Well, the first Europe colony would be again the Portuguese. That's who's going to be the first one. I like the picture they put there, letting you know that. Now we don't know what that gray image they got there. How they is that a Negro or Luso African, a Portuguese, or is that a person that's in West Africa tied to the Mali, Songhai empires at that time frame? Well, we're gonna come down a little bit more. God agree. Slide down for real quick. I want to just get one little part out of this that kind of goes with my clips. You hear me? Yeah, you can stop right there. You know what I mean? As it comes down, let you know what the content it is, so there's no confusion. We know this. Josh will know this. There was no Africa before Europe founded, right? There was no Africa before Europe founded. Ignoring how false that is, I like to tackle this one aspect of Africa and its larger Eurasian interactions. Was Africa sitting around waiting to be conquered? However, You know, I like how he put that pun in there because he knows what he about to go into. Slide up, guy. 'Cause I like how the man pointed this out. I like to give the credit to where people put things in. I reading this shit, and I'm like, yeah, I like how you put that together there in an aspect of what I'm going into. It fits what I'm like reading and saying too. Yeah, because Africa wasn't conquered on contact. Africans and Europeans were interacting for centuries, millennium before the destructive colonialism of 1800s. Like, when they say long time, like a long time. As an example, look back at what happened when Western Europe began what some now call the Age of Discovery. That kind of reminds me of the 1492, right, guy? Age of Discovery. That's tied to the 1492 narrative. Doctrine of Discovery, right? Age of Discovery, Doctrine of Discovery. Put that together. Hopefully you get it. Slide down a little bit more meat on this bone. Oh yeah, the Malian part, right there. That's right there. Here's the part that I want to make sure you see. It says here we can see what happened when technologically advanced kingdom like Portugal came in contact with the backwaters of the Malian Empire. I want to make sure you know that the Portuguese, Luso, black Portuguese Jews, were in contact with the Malian Empire, and technically, being that they were there before 1492, and the time frame they say is like early 1400s, so they probably would have met both nobilities of these empires, dynasties, and the trade, or people in positions representing that. At least that would be the Songhai and the Mali Empire that's running the trade system and everything of Central West Africa, Timbuktu, and all that area that the Portuguese are interacting with in this time frame. It's right there. So because people just always say this Africans, you know what I mean, God? They say we ain't talking about North Africans. We're talking about West Africa, right? That's where they say the slave system part came to. But they don't talk about the empires tied to the time frame, right? That the Europeans are dealing with. It's like they make it seem like as Europeans went into West Africa, it was just a bunch of savages or something. You know what I'm talking about? That's not what happened. The interesting thing about the account is that we get from European sources and not from African. Still, it doesn't portray an invincible Portuguese marine force rolling up Africa's west coast and capturing whoever they wished. Huh. Slave trade, right? Whoever they can catch, they're gonna catch you, right? These things happen. So they can know that between the Portuguese and the Mali Empire, right? That this is who's coming in, trading, doing certain things, and taking certain people, etc. And Negro de Guinea, Negro de Terra, Luso. Put that connection together in this world and how it comes into America, and it's tied to some of our terms that indigenous people might, obviously know about, like Tusker, Lusa, Esther, Lusa. I got one more, right? And I think our guest is here. Yeah, I think I want to make sure you got that though. You know what I mean? We won't give you that much time on anything. He asked the question, I'm gonna answer it. You know what I'm saying? He did it the right way. I'm gonna respond in that manner. And I think I got one more, and then our guest is here. One more thing. I'll make sure I ain't slipping. I want to make sure because again, our guest was on the show when we pulled up. And see, he's trying to take it away. When the author Lee Cummings pulled up with Cootie Mayo, we would use the term Morano, because we know also now dealing with the Luso. And this is again the answer to a question. Maroon in America, is it like how Lucy, Luster, and on that side Luso? It's tied between them two groups, dark skinned people, Portuguese, Jews, and all that. It's tied to this. Some non, because they're intermarrying with different groups of people, etc. in this time frame. So make sure you got all that. And this is global affinities, Portuguese. And he's using that word Moranos. The word Anuism is another derogatory term for those being kicked out, like Laxando, the word Lusando, Lacondo, and it's traveling Jews. And letting you know right at the top what it's tied to. This is a dissertation. And shout out to, again, those who do write these joints, these dissertations. Explores issues of identification, relatedness, and belonging on a global scale through ethnographic study of Portugal's urban Moranos, descendants of 15th century, which is 1492 time frame, converts to Catholicism, and foreign Jews who travel from abroad to meet them, although not Jewish according to Jewish law. Given centuries of intermarriage, Moranos are nonetheless widely considered to be part of the Jewish family, lost brethren, not lost tribes of Israel joint. The Morano, mixing in with different groups, being tied to this. Anyways, you didn't catch it. Anyways, it says after that, many Jews view them within the meta narrative of Jewish destruction and survival, an eternal spark, like Transformers and shit. These remains despite inquisitions. You know about the Inquisition, you got to read on them. Attempted elimination of that group, Yahudism, they put the J in there way later, from the Portuguese landscape. I want to make sure you know what Portuguese is tied to in this time frame, dealing with religious identities and dark-skinned people. Got it, Green? Let's pull up our guest, and then we're going to play a clip from something that he just did recently with us. Remind you, as he's been ready to go into some things that are talking about more of a time frame now. You know what I mean? What he about to cover today and what's happening, as you see the title, is tied to. I want to make sure, because somebody asked the question, it's still tied to some things while we, it's a spider web. Shout out to, you know what I mean, man? Back for what's mine. As he said, it's a spider web that we tangled on. Arthur Lee Cummings, how you doing tonight, man? You got your mic on mute. Peace to you. You're still on mute if you're trying to say something. All right, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm good.
I like that hat. I like that hat.
Winter time. It's cold in Chicago, man.
That's how y'all do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You put the top hats on when it's cold up there.
Man,
that's how y'all do it.
Hey, it's cold. This is Chicago, How they treat you, man?
I'm all right, man. I'm hanging in there, man. I was worried about you earlier. You heard me? You had me thinking something happened in Chicago. It's wild up there in the hundreds.
Man,
I heard.
Man, I'm invisible. So what's going on?
I'm all right, man. I want to play a clip that you did with us recently, because I know you have your joint. I am who I am that you have on Amazon. You did a video joint. I want to play a quick.
Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
Can I play a quick clip of it real quick? We're gonna play a quick clip of this so people can be reminded of some work you got out there. It's like, put a promotional plug.
Right,
I want people to make sure that as we're talking about the groups of people and areas tied to certain things. Ready? You ready, God? Go ahead.
This the intro. Oh, this the trailer. Next episode.
I want to make sure they got that. You heard me? That's like a little clip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
of that area, that time frame.
Yeah, you could purchase the videos at the Negro Question Bookstore along with the books, and we got a new book coming out. I'm thinking January, probably the first week of January, the second week of January. It's going to be like a 5-column book written in, it's the book of Genesis written in English, ancient Aramaic. It's going to be a translation key and then Spanish. But it's a 5-column book. It's nothing like it. This book can teach you how to read, write, translate, and speak Hebrew without having a teacher present. So we're gonna be marketing this to the seminaries.
I know you're on your game. See, I knew you was gonna plug that in. I seen a little. You gave me a little sneak peek. Like how I'm giving them a sneak peek or something that back in the day you gave me that. I appreciate you for that. You know what I mean? You keep me up to speed. I appreciate your honor me to look at things ahead of time. I really do. I make sure people know that. Like when he showed me certain things, I'd be like, okay. I start asking my questions. But like I said, I'll let you present publicly what you want, people to know as you bring out new stuff that you've been working on. And with that being said, I know you also keep up with what's going on in the current climate, not only in Chicago, like what's going on in your city, but like what's going on an international level. And obviously you covering what you cover, I think you would keep up with this type of information. You know what I mean? So when I hit you up and we talk, I was like, look, what and you were like, man, what's the topic you want to touch on the recent situations and how it's tied to history too, right? You want to kind of correlate like a reminder, you know what I mean, of certain things. So I'm gonna let you lead with that right there. Is there something you want to lead off with based off the title of what we're talking about tonight?
Well, the idea is, like when I said, okay, I'm gonna come on and we'll do the show, and then I said, okay, but I want to touch on a couple talking points, and first thing I want to look at is first we got some people in the land that are saying they Israel, and we're gonna show you. According to the prophecy of Ahaya Moshe, or in English, Brother Moses, it is impossible that the people in the land, both parties, don't belong there. And we're gonna briefly show you that the Palestinians and this is what I like to say first. Man, my heart goes out to the Palestinians, even though they don't belong in the land. Over 4,000 babies have been assassinated by that Zionist regime down in Jerusalem. And how could you hate somebody so much that you go in and slay 4,000 babies? And then there was a report that came out of Jerusalem today, but out of Palestine today, that they were killing newborn babies, the Israelis. And so again, you wish that there would be peace on both sides of the fence, but this world that we live in, there is no peace. And it's going to be a sword here until Mashiach Yeshua shows up, and that is the Messiah Jesus. So with that being said, and I take no sides in this fight because I don't have a dog in the fight. And why is that? The person that's called himself a Jew is not a Jew. And the Palestinians were placed there in 1516 by the Ottoman Turks. So who are these people? Who are these people in Palestine? Are they Arabians? No, they're not Arabians. Ishmael is the oldest son of Abraham. Ishmael is the father of all Arabians and the father of all Muslims. So if the people that's in the land were descended from Ishmael, the Ishmaelite, the Arabian, they would have to look like what? Me and you. The brother that's in the land, that's in Jerusalem, that's called himself Israel, was the son of Abraham, Isaac, and Yasahak, what they call in the church Isaac. They should look like Abraham, and they should look like us. And we're going to show you, if I can continue, I want to show you a prophecy that Moses wrote in Deuteronomy 28:68, and you quoted that in your introduction. But this scripture is in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the 68th verse. And this is the reason why we know. And I'm going to show you a couple of maps, and we're going to touch on some things, but I want to make it real plain. We don't hate the Hebrews. We don't hate people. We don't hate white Jews, orange Jews, Pekingese Jews. We don't hate nobody, but tell the truth. Now check this out. Deuteronomy 28:68 says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, Thou shalt see it no more again. There you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. The only people that came into the Americas on slave ships was who? The so-called Negro. That's well documented in the white man's history books, right? Because that he brings, not only does he bring it up in his movies, he brings it up once a year during Black History Month. He keeps that in our face. So we came here on what? On ships. Now, the white Jew came into America on
Wait, say that again.
The
wait,
white
make sure you
Jew came into America in 1947, 1948, fleeing Adolf Hitler. But if you go back and look at the imagery, they were on steamliners with gold rings on, diamond rings, fur coats, hats, top coats. They didn't come as bondmen and bondwomen. So they don't satisfy the prophecy in Deuteronomy 28 and 68. You feel me? Now I want to show y'all a map right quick. And I know I did a lot of talking, but we got a saying that an image is better than 1,000 words. So I'm gonna show you a map. Video share. I'm gonna share my screen.
God, and sharing the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my.
I want to say something while you share your screen. I'm glad you said that. It's a history repeats itself, especially if people don't remember who they are. So what happened to what happened in the Deuteronomy 28 and how that's tied to the exile from Babylon, right? That's tied to the exile of Babylon, which is going to be Jews at that time frame, which is going to be Negroes at this time frame, which is tied to the term exilarch coming out of this time frame of Babylon and people getting exiled of that region, which will be technically Iran, Iraq, what they call the Middle East today. Am I right about that or wrong? As far as historically goes.
Yeah, Iran. Yeah, that was Iran and Iraq would have been Mesopotamia. Babylon would have been to the east of Jerusalem. Would have been Iran, Iraq would have been something like Assyria. Is that right, Lord? Let me see.
Syria? Interesting.
No, Assyria and Babylon would have been to the east. Iran and Iraq would have been Mesopotamia.
Okay. But however the case might be, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Can you see my screen?
Not, are we waiting for it to pop up? It ain't there yet.
Did I do that right?
Do you need me to walk you through it? What you where it says share on your screen, right?
Yeah, I'm sharing the entire screen. So then I went to click on the picture. And the picture. I don't want this one.
He said he share. Kobe. He said he play share on screen. It's not showing up though. It's not showing up.
Something I did.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's
do something right on your side because it's
gonna pop up. I click on present, right?
Present.
And then it says video files, slides, or share screen. So let me see.
Share screen. You want to push share screen. If not, you're going to have to send them to us so we can let people see what you want them to see.
Yeah, I clicked on share screen.
Share screen. All right, there it is. It popped up? No, it ain't popped up. Nope, it ain't pop up. It ain't popping up, man.
Well, it says the entire screen. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back in here because I want you guys to see the map.
Yeah, I want you to show this.
I want y'all to see this map. This basically reinforces what the moderator had said. Now, I have it up on the screen now. Are we sharing?
No, I ain't seen it yet. I'm looking.
All right, well, anyway, you guys, for some inexplicable reason.
What we're going to do is this. Can you send it to me? If you share it, right? Is it a link or is it a picture?
No, it's one it's an artifact from my personal library.
All right, damn. So you got to share the screen. I mean, so How do we do all this?
I
I
wish they
want
could
people to
see
see what
this.
you're talking about. I want you to
I wish
show it.
they could see this. But see, it's coming from my files. It's like I have entire screen, right? So I'm gonna do this. Oh, I know what I need to do. Let's do this. I'm gonna put this up, then I'm gonna come back and go entire screen. And then I'm gonna see if this works right here. See if that came across. Did that pop up?
You did it before, you know. I don't know what you're doing tonight. You got a new system or something, but boy, I'm not seeing it pop up on my side. Whatever you try to share, I'm looking at it myself.
Well, anyway, if you got do you have the Negro Question Part 2, the African slave ships that came from Judah?
We don't even have the book on this digitally. I mean, I have it physically, but I didn't bring it with me tonight.
Well, pull it up through Amazon so they can see the front cover of the book.
All right, so we're gonna pull up Amazon.
Yeah, do that.
Negro Questions
Part 2.
All right, we're gonna do that.
The African slave ships that came from Judah. And the thing about it is, there's a map on the front cover of that book. And that map was dated, I think, 1747. And it shows that the original name of the slave coast was the Kingdom of Judah. So before it was ever called the slave coast, because what nation in their right mind would call their coast a slave coast? So before,
what time frame we say it again, so people can catch what you're saying?
Pardon me?
What time frame you said again? The year? I want people to make sure they
1747.
1747.
It was 1747,
okay.
And it was, and this map was created by the royal cartographer. His name was. Blow that picture up so they can see. There you go. Go the other way. Go the other way. Go up. Yeah, some more. Go up some more. Yeah, I want them to see what's the other way. Go down. I mean, I'm sorry, man.
Go down. I mean,
right here. Go down just a little down. I want them to see what's the center.
We're gonna get back to it.
The center of the book where it says Kingdom of Judah. You see where it says Kingdom. Right. Stop. Now you see where it says proper. That's now that where it's cut off is proper. That's Guinea proper. That was in your introduction. But this map right here, dated 1747, was created by the royal cartographer Emmanuel Bohm. Yeah, he was a map maker for two kings, King George, I think King George XIV, and King Louis of France. And check this out.
Oh, word?
Yeah, okay. So this map right here, which was created in 1747, depicts, and you can see it right in the center of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, the Kingdom of Judah, slave coast. What does that mean? That means that everybody that came into the slave plantations in the South came from where? The Kingdom of Judah. Now I have another map in that book, in that same book, that's dated 1727, 20 years prior, and shows the Kingdom of Judah. And what does that mean? That means we have the artifacts that prove we know who we are. So Benjamin, Judah, Levi was right here. The southern kingdom of Israel had relocated itself to West Africa. These are facts. This ain't something I made up. And we were in communication with the indigenous people in America. So we was doing business with the brothers, the indigenous people, long before the Gentiles or the whites got there. Now, this is the foundation for what we're going to talk about.
I want you to break that down. Yeah. I want you to
get
that in there.
Foundation. Now, check this out. Now, we got some people in the land saying they Israel. But these people made critical mistakes along the way. Now, you know what they call themselves?
What?
They call themselves Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi Jews.
Okay.
That's what they call themselves. 75 to 98% of all European Jews are Ashkenazi. So when you go to the store doing Passover and the holy days, and you got to go get that unleavened bread, that matzah bread, and in the vials of the advertisement or it says Ashkenazi. But I'm gonna show y'all something about these people that sit in the land. They can't be Israel and be Ashkenazi. And this is found in the Table of Nations in Genesis, the 10th chapter. And by the way, we're not into hate. I like to issue disclaimers. We don't hate. We're not prejudiced. We're only into this thing for what? TRUTH, for those that cannot spell the truth. And so all these, one way they kill the truth is by dropping the word racism. We don't believe in that. We don't advocate it. It's just not my thing. So this Ashkenazi Jew, where does he appear in the Table of Nations? I tore my Bible up, y'all, but hey, it works for me. Now check this out.
What you did? What you tore the Bible up?
Accidentally, man. I wore it out. It can't hang with me. Check this out.
You just wore it out.
Genesis, the 10th chapter. This is the Table of Nations. This is how you can determine who's in Jerusalem. It says, now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, or Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, that's Germany, Magog, that's Russia, Madai, those are the Medes, Javan, that's Greece, Tubal and Meshach. Meshach is ancient Moscow and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer, the German, Ashkenaz. So these folks in Jerusalem, 98% of all white Jews in the world are Ashkenazi. If you Japhet's son, you cannot be Israel. Japhet's seed comes through the other son. His name is Shem. Now, I'm going somewhere with this. So we got these Ashkenazis in Jerusalem who was given a charter in 1947, 1948 by the UN, and they gave them the land. These cats showed up at the UN with no personal identification. It's like you go to buy a car. You go to buy a car, and the guy say, "Oh, you want to buy this Mercedes? All right, let me see your ID, and let me see proof of employment." And you show up, you got some money, but you don't have no ID proving who you are. And he gives you the vehicle. This is paramount to what took place in 1947. They went over to the UN and they were given the land without any proof that they were the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So you got two people in the land right now. It's crazy. You got now King James was a Jacobite or Yaqub. If you go back and look at his effigy or his artifacts or images of him from 1600, 1611, he says right there, Jacobite. The brother was a Hebrew Israelite. That's why if you go back and look at the early laws on the books in the 13 colonies, Christmas was banished. Why? The Jews, the black Scots didn't believe in Christmas. Also, if you read King James' book called the Basilica de Ron, he legalizes sports on Sunday. Why? Because Sunday wasn't the Sabbath. They kept the Sabbath day. So where am I good? So how does all this tie into what's going on in the Middle East right now? It's real simple.
Right.
You got two dogs in the backyard fighting, and neither one of them is the dog of the so-called African American. Or they did. Hey, we sitting on the sideline watching two people fight over our land. And I'm gonna prove this to you. The Most High gave the land forever to the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. These people that's fighting over the land, and then all of a sudden we getting these mandates from the government saying we stand by Israel. No, we do not stand by any nation that kills innocent men, women, and children. 4,000 babies plus newborns. I don't stand by that.
I got something for you. I want to play a clip. I want you to respond to this man that's going through something over there right now. Because it's current day time. Israel versus Palestine, and everything from the historical sense. Because I know, as we talked about Babylon, and we talk about ancient history, and obviously we know that, like I said, Deuteronomy 28 is tied to proof of the Negro being exiled out of that region and being scattered into West Africa, as you just said. We know they went into Europe. You know what I'm saying? We know what they call today Europe, the term that, because King James, as you have always pointed out, that it's there on the record for you to go research, to make sure you go back and research all this stuff. Negro Question Series points this out. Play the clip real quick, God. Let everybody see what we're talking about real quick. I want you to give me your feedback from what this clip saying right now. Social media. Go ahead, God.
Our ancestors, I'm talking about thousands and thousands of years, had been here in this country, but they were spread away, taken to Africa, from Africa to the United States. To be Palestinian, that's a big problem, but to be a black Palestinian, I'm quite convinced it will be there, because as a black Palestinian, I am double oppressed. First of all, they oppress me as a Palestinian, you see. Secondly, they oppress me because of my color. Whenever I go around in the Israeli side, they call me Kushi. Kushi means nigger. The more they humiliate me, the more they oppress me, the more I stick to my land. Because this is my land. I'm so rooted. We are deeply rooted as Africans, as Palestinian Africans in this land. And we know our ancestors, I'm talking about thousands and thousands of years, had been here in this country, but they were spread away, taken to Africa, from Africa to the United States. And we know that our ancestors, I'm talking about South.
That's it. I want you to catch that clip. What you thought about that?
Hey, listen, man. The history of that region of the world says this. The Ottoman Turks ruled all of Arabia and Palestine for 402 years. From 1516 to 1917, at the end of World War I. That's when they lost it all. And what the Ottoman Turks used to do is they would relocate the people of the lands that they conquered. So in 1516, when they went in under Suleiman the Great or Suleiman the Magnificent, they began to deport the black Arabs out of Arabia, and they put Turks all over. That's why when you look down on television, you see all these white people in Arabia. Those are Turks. They've been there for 400 years. Now, this brother is an anomaly because the black Arabs had been pushed out into the desert areas. You understand? So I cannot give an account for him, but he made a comment. He said the blacks from ancient times was sent to America. He talking about us, the Israelites.
I wanted that card to get caught too. Like I don't want to see what you saw about that.
I caught that, but he's an anomaly. He's an anomaly.
He wasn't an anomaly. When he said it, I don't know if people caught it. Like that's why I wanted like you said, like what you said earlier, historically, he's there and he's saying that based off of him, obviously he's still saying African though. And he's saying, we've been in this area for thousands of years. And then also saying the same people who were brought on boats to the Americas are the same people that originally were in that region that is tied to this Israel-Palestine thing going on right now. I want to make sure I put it like that because I ain't trying to be offensive. I'm talking about the history. You know what I'm saying? Some people might get it caught up in their religious ideas.
The word Palestine used to be Philistia or Philistine, the Philistines.
Right.
That's the land of the big fella, Goliath.
Mm-hmm.
That's his land. Yeah, that's good. That's the land that big fella, him, dude was 10 feet tall. He got to get his props, even though he got his head peeled. David busted him in his head with a slingshot. But he still got to get his props for being 10 feet tall. You understand? He was 9 feet. He was 9 feet 9, so I rounded it off and gave him 10 feet. He was a big dude, man. That was his land.
10 feet. Hey, to me, that's a giant. By the way.
Check this out, G.
Yeah, mighty man.
The question is, why all of a sudden, why all this attention? Every 5 to 7 years. Right when those people in Palestine are building up their economy, making contacts with other nations. They getting ready to get nationhood. Here come the Israelis and destroy. The Israelis are like locusts and caterpillars, man. Like every time they see them people, they go in and destroy. They set them back another 20, 30 years, their civilization. They do this on purpose. And now guess what they're doing? Now they're doing what we call in history forced migration. They're making these Palestinians relocate from the north to the south. They got their backs to the Mediterranean Sea. They almost in the sea, man. What else can they do? You take a coward. He can't fight. He been getting beat up by the bully his whole life. But this one particular day, the bully then backed him into the corner. He ain't got nowhere. He can't run. What you think he gonna do? He gonna turn right. He gonna turn around and fight for his life. And this is what we're seeing right now. And they want us to take sides. I don't take no sides. I have great sorrow and empathy for the Palestinian men, women, and children that are being slaughtered. I don't take no sides, but I have great sorrow.
I get that. To me too. Some people like to get caught up. I've even heard people say, "Why aren't you over there defending your Hebrew Israelite dark-skinned people? If you say this, you and then another." I'm like, bro, come on now. Like that's like insensitive.
They don't have no feelings, man.
People getting bombed up. You tripping right now. You know what I mean? Like,
amen.
There's some real people getting. You know what I mean? Humanity.
They don't have to be African Americans or Israelites or indigenous babies. These are 4,000 babies, man, that have done nothing. They're innocent.
Right.
And for a nation, see, this is what gets me about this generation. This is supposed to be the culmination of 3 ages: the Iron Age, the Stone Age, and the Brass Age. This is supposed to be the culmination of 3 ages and the greatest age of mankind in terms of civilization, and yet we still have outward signs of barbarism, apartheid, segregation. Right here in the year 2000, we got what's the word that the white scholar likes to use? Draconian. Draconian means Stone Age, outdated. This institution in Jerusalem does not belong in this generation. It is it's the old age or the old generation of them old timers from 1960 and 1950, the racists. They are trying desperately not to go into the future with the rest of the nations. They holding on to the past, man. This is what like the word they're using, they're throwing around across the Atlantic Ocean right now is hegemony. What does that mean in Negro? That means your place. Your place.
Pause. Say that
your
shit
place among the nation.
He said hegemony. He said, "What's that hegemony?" That means
what does
Negro.
That mean? What does it mean? It simply means that these white nations are desperately trying to hold on to white power. But white power is coming to an end. Why? Because Yeshua Mashiach, the Messiah, Jesus is on his way. And when dudes show up, guess what? White power is going to be put down. And guess who's going to rule for 1,000 years? I want y'all to hear this. You ain't heard nothing else. You go hear it tonight. Black folks going to rule this planet for 1,000 years. I can show you this in the book of Revelation.
This is where
this is what this is all about.
But this is what I'm saying. Some people don't, and this is what I'm saying, Lee. I get it from an understanding that people, but at the same time, if we're gonna do it, it's also a term called faith without work is dead. And because of my mannerism of understanding why that our introduction didn't say Deuteronomy 28. Yes, we understand. I feel
You
like
quoted it, you
in
just didn't
saying
quote the scripture. Yeah, I heard you.
right. You know what I'm saying? Well, what
Yeah.
we're saying is, because you just said it from a historical standpoint, we know because it's evolution, and like you said, we went through. You said it's a combination of ages. So even if we're going to talk about the Negro tied to being Yahudi, which is now called a Jew, right? Hebrew Israelite, and the plight that a person that's dark skinned on that side of the continent making its way into the Americas, because like you said, even in 1492, we know that Negroes, as you said earlier
They was
too,
already here.
they were already dealing with indigenous people of the Americas prior to 1492. So with that being said, just to keep it general, right? I'm going into the understanding that that's why we say Deuteronomy 28 got nothing to do with the fact in 1492 that it was like as if white supremacy all of a sudden blew up and they were able to bring a bunch of dark-skinned people out of, as you know, the Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire in 1492. You know what I mean? Because some people like to say West Africa. This is like, African, because they pan-African. But I know what empire is tied to this time frame. The Portuguese, what empire is tied to the Portuguese. And I know they're coming into an empire tied to the Mayans and the Aztecs in the 1492 time frame, 15th century. No spookism. That's history. Empires.
And it was black folks. And
dark-skinned people.
They can't say that the Mayans were not black people, because if you look at the statues, they lips bigger than mine. I got a big nose and bigger. They got their nose and lips is very distinct.
Yeah, I'm rocking
There's no way you can mistake those statues and those artifacts for Europeans. I don't care how hard they try. And ask Napoleon. Right. If I raised him from the dead and made him stand before us today as a witness, he'd tell you to your face, when I went to Egypt, I was so disappointed I shot the nose off the Sphinx. He did that.
He said, I was so disappointed.
He was so disappointed because he had been lied to as a child in Europe. They was teaching the white barbarians once they this is what y'all don't understand.
They don't understand
the three ages that we spoke about earlier, the Stone Age, the Iron Age, and the Brass Age, was ruled by who? Black folks.
You said brass or bronze?
Bronze. Bronze, yeah. I meant Bronze Age.
I know you Chicago style. I'm making sure people understand it like you're saying.
Check this out. Whites have only been ruling the world for the last 250 years. See, so how long did we rule? We ruled for about 5,600, 5,700. It's hard to be number one for 5,600 years and not get knocked down to the floor for 250 years. So we can look at our situation like the champ got knocked down, but prophecy says the champ gonna get up again and rule for another 1,000 years.
Lord,
that's the prophecy concerning you,
Maranatha.
Yeah, and you know what? They know their time is coming to an end. So, the title of the show tonight was The Real Story, or the real story, the message of what? Palestine. This is the thing. They ran up to Russia and tried to bum rush Russia with the Ukrainians. Didn't work because Russia is beating them down. To destroy Ukraine is basically destroyed. So now to divert the international community's eyes from the fact that Russia not only defeated the Ukrainians, but the West sent them all the military hardware that they needed, and it did not work. So now to divert the eyes of the world from Russia and Ukraine, guess what they do? They run down and beat up on some people that can't defend themselves. But they didn't try that in Russia. They didn't invade Russia, did they? They didn't bomb Russia. You know why? Russia said, come on down here. Got something for you. So all I'm simply saying to you is, this Palestine situation, it ain't nothing but a bunch of noise. It is a diversion. Who do they really want? They want the Iranians. Why Iran? Because Iran is on the gold standard, y'all. They say all this is about money. It's about paper money has no value. Now I'm gonna say this. Paper money is not backed by gold nor silver. 1971, Richard Nixon, the president at that time of the United States, he did away with the gold standard. So since 1971, the paper dollar is not backed by gold or silver. Your quarter has no silver in it. Your dimes have no silver in it. Your nickels have no nickel, and the pennies, I don't think even have copper. So y'all walking around with slugs in your pockets, and that paper money has no value. And if the drug dealer knew that, he wouldn't sell drugs.
Hold on, man. You man, listen here.
All that man, there was a bunch of slugs in your pocket with designs on it.
I want to drop a bomb or something, but Blaze
run that. Hey, run that. So the guy
bombs being dropped on Baghdad for real.
Check this out. So why they mad? Because Syria, gold standard. Iran, gold standard. Who did America bomb the other day? They bombing targets in Syria. Now they want to go at it with Iran, upset with Russia, gold standard. BRICS nation, the BRICS, gold standard. So all of us, we under this great illusion in this country and in the world that paper money got value. Man, the scam is so cold that when a man robs a bank, they make sure they either shoot him or incarcerate him to keep the scam going.
Lord. Keep smoking. Listen, what you said is
that's the real story. That's the real
if anybody's working in the world, can I say this to you real quick though? Because like you said, everything you just said is like yes, people are paying attention to like how we just talked about history, but as you brought it to the political economic atmosphere we're in now, and now we're looking at nations today, while some people are still caught up on the history part of trying to self-identify, they're not looking at the elite groups that are involved with these nations that are making these decisions in the worldly atmosphere of nations and sovereignty as they are laid out and wars are played out, and how right now it might fit a script to certain situations, right? But at the same time, some people know how to follow scripts, but they literally also are benefiting from these scripts that are being played out. When it's what you're saying going on right now with the gold standard and how we're going back into a gold standard, like the BRICS situation that you brought up, it was deep because of how you said it. I want people to understand what you just said, because the BRICS, like a lot of these, Gaddafi, hello?
Same flavor. Same flavor. That's love, man.
Gaddafi, Obama back in the day. Right. Gaddafi, he was dealing with the gold standard before you had BRICS, but people are going to forget about that. They're going to be like, oh, well, because it's popular now because you're seeing people that don't look like us.
And the old man doing it. And the old man, Saddam Hussein, same flavor. When Saddam tried to get off the gold, when he tried to get off that paper money, and go on the gold standard, he got hit. So that's what this is all about. And what happened in Russia? What happened in Russia was Russia said, hey, we on the gold standard now. We back in the ruble with gold. That's when they started pumping the military and hardware to the Ukrainians. You say
peeping that.
So you say, well, what does this have to do with Palestine and Israel? Israel is the diversion for what these other Gentiles, these Europeans, are trying to pull around the world. It's like a sleight of hand trick. I got noise going over here, but the real move is in silence. And what's the real move? Iran. They want to invade Iran. Why? Because Iran is a threat to the apartheid state. And Iran is also part of BRICS. And Iran is on the gold standard, man. Oh, that's why.
I'm glad you putting it, though.
Yeah,
you put it there, though. I want people, anybody in the chat, and we're going to ask the people in the chat real quick. Just real quickly, because, we ain't got that much time.
Yeah, this is
I want you to go crazy. I want you to, you really laid it out, though. I think anybody in the chat, what you saying? Anybody in the chat? Give a shout out to the chat. Let's tap into
this. It started slow, but
does that not make sense?
Yeah, we went the long way, but we finally got there.
Yeah, that part.
So
I want to
this
make
is
sure
what
that
it
people
is.
caught
And
that.
so if they listening to the news, they're not going. What they heard tonight, they will not hear on the news because all the news channels report the same news. They get a printout from the government. This is the news, and that's what they report.
I'm trying to look at the joint. You got the live joint? Let me see the joint real quick. We'll do this for the chat real quick. Anybody? Shout out to the chat. Everybody that's tapped into the Lee Cummings interview. Obviously, he's a special guest. He on here on a regular. You already know. Tom's party. He letting you know what it is. But at the same time, the this right here, like, Lee, because since we've been talking, I think a lot of people also, even though we're just talked about what's going on currently, and then how you laid that out was, again, that was eloquent, man. That was smooth. That hat matched the style you did that. You know what I'm saying? I got this joint right here. Shout out to 9 Ether. He says, why Gaddafi had to go to African gold or and challenge the monetary imperialism. And he put a link there too. You know, when you want to click the link and pull it up just in case for everybody want to see what he's talking about. So that might be a little. That's a good question. That's it right there. That's a good question.
That's it right there.
So we can get that link up. Let's get that link up, and we can let people see that, and then let you before you leave us tonight. Because I think you literally you laid out some shit tonight with that one right there. You laid some shit.
So what is? But look, but let's stay focused. So then, what is this Israeli-Palestinian thing? It is the noise. It is the diversion. You understand? It's like it's the diversion to get your eyes off the real play. And the real play is bricks. Now think about this for a minute before we go any further.
Mm-hmm.
All those nations that rebelled against the United States in Arabia and Africa, guess what they're doing right now? They watching these Israelis commit genocide. So there's another message in what's taking place. And the other message is what? They sending a kite to the rest of the nations that's trying to rebel against that's trying to get off the dollar. This is what's going to happen if we invade you.
That part.
It's right. It's all kind of messages being sent. And I'm going to say this to you people. A lot of the information that you're hearing on the radio and that you're reading in these papers is not intended for you.
Uh-oh.
Some of them words that are going across the Atlantic are intended. These are the words that kings speak to one another. You are not the intended hearer of that language or that word, but you heard it, but you still don't understand it. Why? They're not talking to us.
It's like legalese and shit.
They're not talking to us. They talking to them. They talking to each other. We just privy to the conversation.
You just happen to be there. So you there, but you ain't. It's not like it's like legalese and shit. Like
it ain't for you.
Yeah. What he saying? I don't even understand what he talking. Why y'all talking about this in front of me? Anyways, though, that's what I be telling people. Look, don't be talking about stuff as I can't correspond with, and you in front of me. You might as well just tell me to leave the room. I don't understand why I'm here. Why you got me here for? You know what I'm saying? You gonna say some shit. Anyway, though, this is the link that he had 9 Ether had to put with the question. What he put up there. And this is why Gaddafi had to go. African gold, oil, and the challenge of monetary imperialism. You know what I'm talking about?
And then look how light they made him.
Oh Lord. He did kind of
wasn't light.
I don't like to use the term, rest in peace in his name, but he was a light-skinned brother. But he definitely wasn't as light as this one. He wasn't that light. That's Michael Jackson. No, but the joint right there, that's Michael Jackson. You heard me? See, come on, Michael Jackson told you. It don't matter if you're black or white. He chose you. He did it. Voila.
This the thing. White power is coming to an end. Hegemony, white power. Their place in among the nations. It ain't got nothing to do with race. This is what people don't understand. People say, well, he's talking about white power is coming to an end. No, I'm not a racist. It doesn't matter. Black power came to an end. Black power came to an end. And you could see when it came to an end, it was reported by Professor Boyd Dawkins, I think in 1884.
Wait, stop right there. Stop. Because a lot of people want to know that question. I'm glad you brought this up. It's random, but still, because a lot of people ask this question, and so from your perspective, and you just quoted a person they can go research, Dr. Boyd Dawkins. You know what I mean?
Roy Dawkins, yeah.
And what year you said? 18 what?
1884.
Is when what took over?
Yeah, he did a lecture at Colleyville down in Europe, in England. And in this lecture, he gives an outline of the time. He gives a timeline for when the black nations begin to capitulate in Negro, they begin to fall. And then he gives the timeline. He tells you which nation is falling. 1751, Benjamin Franklin tells you with his essay that the swarthy nations were ruling Europe. The swarthy nations at that time, according to Benjamin Franklin, was France, Russia, Spain, Sweden, Germany, Italy. So from 1751 to 1884, the blacks were still in charge. They were still running Europe. And the reason why they was making comments like that, because at that time, there was no such thing as racism. Racism is a modern invention.
Say it again.
Racism is a, can I preach?
Preach. You just press preach. Say, Lord, Maroon does. Say that again.
Hey, listen. So check this out. 1800, like the black nations begin to fall between the beheading from the time that King Charles I lost his head after he married the Catholic princess, I think her name was Henrietta of Spain. This began the fall. This began the downfall of the black monarchs of Europe. World War I want you to quote me on this. You scholars out there. World War I was nothing but the genocide of the remaining blacks in Europe.
That part.
All it was. They was getting rid of, and all, you can't fault the Gentile, or what we commonly call white folks, for wanting to have a land all they own. This was expressed perfectly, poetically, in the writings of Benjamin Franklin in his essay in 1751. He states that. So all I'm simply saying to everybody out there, we ruled all the way up until the 1800s. In fact, the last black German king to sit on the throne of England sat on the throne of England in 1900. It's only been 123 years that they had white king. It's only been 123 years that white kings have sat on the throne of England, and you can quote me on that.
I want them to quote you on that.
Run that.
Run that. What's the name though? Give me the name. What's the king's name? 1900. What's the king's name?
Hey, it was one of the Georges.
I want to make sure that people know we're talking about Georges though. That's the Hanover, right?
Right.
That's the Hanovers, right?
That's the Hanover, my man.
That's some Hanovers. Yeah, I keep up. I've been reading the book. I've been reading. I've been dibbling and dabbling. You know what I mean? I've been doing my research. And shout out to the party.
I respect.
You know what I mean? We keep up. You know what I'm saying? Them Jacobites and how that. Yeah. You know what? Since you and how we had you on the show again, because I ain't gonna lie. You know, I had understood. Obviously, we all grew up learning about Africa, right? And how they say we came over here. And you research everything on that side of it, right? You're like, okay, from the ancient side of it, to how they made it, and you're trying to figure out, okay, is the truth how they brought us in? All that, okay. And then you started to see, oh, wait a second. Okay, on this side, the people that's over here are the Aboriginal people on this land. Oh, they were dark-skinned people too. Okay, wait a second. Okay, now that group of people and these group of people, they have something in common as far as phenotype, but they got their different cultures and different things going on, right? And that's the part I think people get confused. But then that European part, see, that's the missing one of your books, the missing link. That's the missing link. You know what I'm talking about? Because now you see that 13th colony that's coming in the 1600s is tied to dark-skinned people as well. It's not tied to what we've been told in the general narrative in any of the migrations of how what we get to the foundation of the American Revolutionary time frame with George Washington and the United States of America, 1776 being founded, and how now they're trying to tell people who is dark-skinned people on this continent that were here before 1776 that they're not indigenous to the land.
Well, check this out. That same essay that I quote by Benjamin Franklin, 1751. I think it was the population of mankind. You can find it at the we call it anyway, the Library of Congress. But anyway, in that same essay, you know what he said? He said all of America was swarthy.
That part.
Oh,
I had people get at me about that too. No. Some people try to take down the content. They said swarthy was Australian. I still get feedback. I'm letting you know we live, so everybody know I'm live. I ain't no capping. I ain't fronting. Got to do it. My tripping. We done been through a lot of shit with that swarthy part with people.
Hey, moderator. No profanity.
I'm sorry. Let me stop cussing. You're right. Look at me. Part of my French. Part of my French.
Okay, buddy. Right. It's okay.
A Frenchie. A part of my Frenchy side of me that might say certain things in a derogatory way. Yeah. Yes. Excuse me, y'all, for the audience and children that's listening. I apologize, but we live. And this is real. And this is how I'm saying it because how it came across. I'm interacting this way. And this is how I'm responding in the manner you leave.
You're dealing with that word swarthy, yeah.
The word swarthy is something that people were really like touched about dealing with, connecting it to somebody that today's time frame would be labeled an African American.
But what do you do? There's a dictionary from 1784, 1786, or in the 1700s, and I think the brother's name was Johnson. That dictionary gives the definition of the word swarthy as being black, dark, black. So the word swarthy in 1751, 1780, per the dictionary, was what? In fact, it's in the Negro Question Dictionary.
I got it.
In the section with JFAT, and it gives the definition of the word swarthy in 1780. So we're not making this up. Swarthy means black. Period.
Yes. Swarthy nigger. Excuse me. French. But either way, no, not Portuguese, nigger. No, I mean, yeah.
Go ahead. So I only want people to know. What we're saying to the people is what? We're simply these are not blanket statements. Everything I'm quoting white historians and white scholars. So you can't say that my argument is slanted toward scholars of color. When I was dealing with the argument, I only used white scholars. You know why? Because how you gonna refute your own brother, a white Mr. White person? White people in the 16th, 17th, 18th, and early 19th centuries, they told the truth about Black history. It is this modern scholar that's lying to you. Since 1800, they've been lying.
That part. He put a time on that too. It's funny. It's like, ooh, look. It's like, ooh, I got something coming on that. You hit my nerve. Oh, church. Preach. You've been preaching tonight. Look, 1800s. 1800s. I'm going to put my marker on it. Yeah, 1791, 1790. First census being taken.
That's right.
1800s, where the new narrative spins over of what a free person of color. And now, like, look, man. Hey, listen, Aborigines of the land, with all your mixtures, you've been fooled, you've been hoodwinked, you've been bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I'm glad you broke it down though. The real story.
Come on, man. You know the fix is in when a white man can go to the government, pay $25, and be declared an indigenous Indian so that he could take land.
That part.
Come on, man.
Hey, look, you know what's crazy?
The scam is real when you look back at the 1790 census and see that the Indian is listed on the census, but going forward, 1800, 1810, 1830, going forward, he disappears, and now he has become what? A Negro on the American census.
You see it. Look, some people don't know because this is why we
telling y'all the truth. We not lying. Why you think they don't show you? Why you think they don't show you these census in your school system? Why you think they don't let you read the original charters of the 13 colonies? The fix is in.
That part. But we in a time where everybody can go on their phone and go find these things if they really want to dig up a little bit of what we showed them tonight. And I mean, the real storyline behind a migration of people labeled Negro, and that's why also, I say it for the record, being that the people that don't like to be caught saying that they're indigenous to America, and they were labeled like you just said, Negro or mulatto, and then now they're labeled free people of color on certain documents. But at the same time, they're Negro, which people just don't want to acknowledge, that end up coming into the Americas, were the people tied to the term Jew coming out of 1492, as I showed before you even pulled up, dealing with the Portuguese and people called Moranos, New Christians, fugitive terms, rebel terms, derogatory terms,
but that's what the Anglo-Saxon said. So you know what?
Yeah,
so
that's his term.
Really, you can't. That's his version.
That's his version.
His version is a slanted version, and for you people that are out there that are serious about your research and serious about your scholarship, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. Hey, I'm a Hebrew, but I hang out with my men. You know why? I like to do.
Yeah, I like you too.
Right. Don't limit your friendships. Don't limit your research. Look at it. Look, be careful when you walk through the doors of wisdom, because these doors of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, they're everywhere. You just got to be. It's not a problem. The Lord, the Most High, don't have a problem with you going through these doors. He just wants you to make sure you go through the right doors. All wisdom is not good wisdom. All knowledge is not good. Like we used to have a saying on the streets when we was hustling. All money ain't good money. And it's the same thing with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And to conclude what we've been saying all night, just to make sure there's continuity in the dialogue, in this discussion. The Palestinians and the Israelis are fighting over our land. It was given to us by, what's the word? The Lord called it Shabbat, by oath. He gave it to us by an oath. He told Abraham, this land is yours and your seed forever. Olam, forever. And these two entities are fighting over our land. Ain't got no problem with that. That's a fact. But we're not a part of that, and we don't have no comment concerning that, because that you be deemed anti-Semitic. How can I be anti-Semitic?
Not part of it.
But the second part of the discussion that we don't want you to forget is that the skirmish between it's not a war. The Palestinians don't have an army. They don't have a navy. They don't have an air force. They don't have satellites. How could they be at war with a country with all these components that I just mentioned? That's not a war. That's a genocide. So the second thing is that is a what? That's a smoke screen for the real play. And the real play is what? Those BRIC nations, Syria, Iran, Saudi Arabia that got in bed with Russia. So these are covert methods, or what we call in the hood, we call them, like sneaky Pete or slick ways to start wars with these nations that are fleeing or running away from the dollar. So that is the real underplay of what we're looking at.
I appreciate you doing that, though, and that's why I appreciate you coming on our show and being able to give us, again, because what made us connect, right? For instance, like you said, we might self-identify in certain ways, but we're able, like me and you, to have great discussions, and we're learning from each other in certain ways. I've learned a lot from you with your Negro Questions series as an author. And
they don't know we kick it off the air.
Yeah, that part.
We kick it off the air.
Yeah. It's not like, we just, we really talk. And at the end of the day, too, I hit you sometimes. Like today, I was like, this man ain't answering the phone. I was talking shit. I was like, this man ain't coming on. I said, got a great head coming on. We're going to do a quick little Lucy part 2. Shout out to BlackSeminole.com project. BlackSeminole.project.com. We was really going to do it. I had to ad-lib because of you tonight. I was like, all right, look, we're going to do it like this tonight.
Well, I
wasn't
asleep. I wasn't physically asleep, But I
That
did take
part.
a nap, but I went to sleep with my eyes open, like, because if you stop and think about
With your eyes open?
yeah, you
That
got to
ain't
think
healthy.
about how we opened up the show tonight. I wasn't. It was. I started out like you was like, "Hey, what's going on?" I was like, "Hey, it's good." I wasn't even. The
You
energy
was
level wasn't
cognizant.
there, right? So it took me about 5-10 minutes. Like, okay, hey, it's showtime. All right.
Listen,
But
I
listen,
know.
man.
Hey, I've had one of them weeks myself, bro. I get it, bro. You know, be family situations and everything. I'm just glad I make it here sometimes on a Sunday to be like, yo, we live. Like people think we like this ain't coordinated. Like how this happened right here. This is showing you that I planned it, yes, to do
You
it.
didn't
Have you the
share.
guest,
You didn't
but
share no
things happen.
questions with me. Yeah. Did you share any questions with me?
No questions.
We don't
Well, no,
never
we
do
don't
it.
do
Like,
this.
we do
Like,
it
yeah,
raw.
no, we do it
We
raw.
do it
Like, yeah,
raw.
exactly. And I want to like I have my sources that I want to talk to you about, and I'll present them so I have it ready for what I want to talk to you about. I know you don't like people. You be on people's shows, and you be telling me, I'm sorry for y'all out there, that when you don't prepare for the person you bring on as a guest, and you as being one of the first authors on our show, for me to ask questions to. That's why also you've made me a better host because of the fact of me dealing with you and dealing with reading your book series literally and looking at certain things to highlight, to ask you questions about, not only for myself but for the audience to understand where you're getting it from, your perspective, the sources, the references, the history, the timeline, because that's how detailed we is over here at the party. We
But
don't like just try to lump shit in. You dig? You know what I'm saying?
You know what? This is my thing. This is the golden age of wisdom. This is like they had what they called the golden age. They had the Renaissance period, and then they had the age of light and the age of reason in Europe. We are this generation right here. This is one of the great generations to ever walk the planet, and we are in the midst of of information explosion. There was a time when knowledge was in prison. And knowledge was in prison. Why? Because it was controlled by the whites. And so the only way you could get knowledge, you had to pay them to go to school. If you have no money, you what? You was dumb. You was cast away. So the Most High, the Creator,
Maroon, sure.
I'm preaching right now. So the Most High has made it possible that the poorest man on the planet can be wise through what? Through social media.
That part.
This is where we are.
Worldly.
That's a great time.
Aboriginal fashion and
Come
vision.
on, man. I'm gonna
let you slide, man. Don't hold it for the next time. I gotta bring you back in the holiday. I can't let you give too much. They're gonna be like, no. I'm like, look, man, hey, make sure y'all go to the website. You know what I'm saying? Blaze, we're gonna bring them back, play a couple songs before we get out
Hey, hold on. The website is the Negro Question Bookstore.ecwid.com, or you can go to Amazon and get the work. But we got the new work coming out, and I sent my man's a page of it. And but he don't have the page. He don't have the page where it's written in English. The Book of Genesis, I wrote it in English, Aramaic, and Spanish. And then you got
Ladino.
You got a translation key. It's a It's going to be a five column book. Nothing like it in the world. And y'all heard it here first. But I want to
plug it in.
Thank you for letting me come on your show. I know I talk a lot, but you know,
I like it.
If you hadn't woke me up, I'd still be asleep. So it's your fault.
That part. I was calling you, man. I was calling you a lot. Don't play with me like that, man. Matter of fact, get out of here, man. I'm gonna talk to you. Be safe out there in Chicago, man. I'm gonna hit you during.
Hey, like they said, you're making me go on tell you, man.
I'm going with you. I'm going with myself here. Big up yourself here.
All right, God bless you all. All right, man.
Y'all have a good night with that one. Hey, I appreciate him for coming on the show every time, man. Arthur Lee Cummings, Negro Question Series. Oh yeah, Maroonville. He's gonna pull up on us from Maroonville in February. You know what I'm saying? The last weekend, Maroonville. Y'all didn't know? Yeah, Maroonville is coming. We got some more details. You know what I'm saying? We letting you know ahead of time what's happening. Let me tell you what's happening. But 4 months ahead, God. About 4 months ahead, we telling you what's planning to come. Yeah, this thing's coming. BlackSignalProject.com. Yeah, Maroonville. You know what I'm saying? To let y'all know what we got planned, getting ready to do. Some things, great things coming in the works. Yeah. The Thomas Party. The harsh reality is live life for time's sake. We're gonna get out of here, man. Um, Shoot, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was one of them days. I ain't gonna lie to you how we ended the night. I mean, is anybody in the chat? Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. We got more guests though. Actually, next week. You know what I mean? November 19th, Sunday, DOF 2023. You know what I'm saying? We got some more joint popping off. You know what I'm saying? And our guest next week. Shout out to Black Jagger. We played his joint earlier. You know what I mean? In the campaign mix. Him and Kemet, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we like how he said, we come like, I know how I self-identify. I don't, when we get in the room with each other, we drinking and having talking conversation, you gonna be who you is, but we gonna keep it real. What's real is real, you know what I'm saying? That's how that shit come out, autonomously speaking, you know what I'm saying? Feel me? Shoot, we gonna get out of here with that though. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Tap in with us next week. As is, I was gonna go in to let y'all know, just to say this real quick before we go. We ain't gonna even do nothing else. That's how we gonna end. What I came across is, as we showed you in the beginning of the show, and how we Esther Luso, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. If you want to go do your research, Alabama, the Black Panther Party is not tied to Balaam. See them? It's right here. I got it. Do I got it on the side? Yes, I do. It is. Right, make sure, yeah. Balaam, as you see it there, is tied to the term Jaguar on this black old hat I got here. And it's tied to the Black Panther, the Black Balaam Black Panther, which is also tied to Pardo shirt. Just let y'all know. Some merch shit we put out back in the day, Pardo. It's also another term tied to like a panther term. You research it, which is a Sephardic Ladino term tied to Moranos, Portuguese, Brazil, Morano, variation, Maroons. That's why the term Maroon is older than the term Seminole, being that Maroons communities labeled to Black, Luso, lineage tied into indigenous groups of people throughout the whole region from the 15th century, and what's going on is kind of not being explained when they talk about that one drop rule. That's the loosely. We gonna have to let it breathe, and you got to go do your research if you want to know. However, because you ain't gonna might really find that in the genealogy part of it. Most people are finding European and indigenous on the black side of what they're finding, and that's still like you said, Lee Cummings, missing link, the European black, that Swarthy, 1751, Benjamin Franklin, and it's Swarthy people coming in. Like people got surnames attached to it in their genealogy. Shout out to Opie Mihai. You know what I'm saying? Free people of color. He's been breaking that down state to state. Carter G. Woodson, state to state. You heard me? Shout out to that. Go watch that series on our channel. Shout out to Opie Mia. And shout out to all the social club members. Shout out to all the ladies. Shout out to all folk, indigenous, Maroon, Moscago, Negro, Estelus, Amacario. We out here for the night. Till next week, Sunday. Tap in. Marana.